So I earned, paid the bills, saved the money. And that's how I started registering one after another. From each business, we made money. I lived very humbly always.
Welcome to another episode of Be Your Own Boss. Our guest this week is Nousheen Mukhtar. Nousheen Mukhtar is not just a person, it's a brand. Nousheen Mukhtar International. Of course, Nousheen is the founder of Nousheen Mukhtar International and Impact Events, Style Femina, Burak Media, Yes Gulf. The list is long. She has started 7 businesses. She is a serial entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur. If you are a passionate entrepreneur, if you are a woman entrepreneur, if you are a woman aspiring to be an entrepreneur, Nousheen Mukhtar is a name that you'll never forget. Nousheen is often described as a powerful woman. She is powerful and strong, not just because of what she is today, but because of the challenges that she has overcome to get where she is today. So, what's her story? Let's hear from Nosheen. Nosheen, thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here on the Be Your Own Boss podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this show. I'm much honored to be with you today, and I'm looking forward to a great interaction.
Same here. I'm sure it's going to be a great show, great episode. So, Nosheen, let's, like we always do on the Be Your Own Boss podcast, let's start with your story right from the beginning. Tell us about your parents, your sibling, where we born, the environment at home.
Sure. So I'm from Pakistan. I spent most of my years in Pakistan in my life. So I've spent just 13 years in Dubai. Rest of it was in Pakistan. I was born, brought up. I completed all of my education in Pakistan.
Hmm.
So I completed my 2 masters there. So I spent quite
Two
some time.
masters. Where in
Yes.
Pakistan, by the way?
Lahore.
Lahore. Okay.
Yes. So when I came to the UAE and I started applying for a job, majority of the people were surprised with the way I was groomed. They thought I'm coming from the US and my degrees must be from there. So I was like, no, my country offers the best of education.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. So as a child, my passion was creativity. I was a
Hmm.
painter in my teens. My art was in demand, with the result that all the wonderful concepts that I was creating through landscape and nature oriented oil paintings, I did not have a single one with me. It was all taken away by my friends, by my aunts, uncles, relatives, their friends. So everybody wanted something from me, and whatever I created, they took. So I never had my work. That's how I started my first consciousness of who I am. And when I started my college life, I wanted to take up art as education. My mother said, no, art is hobby. You need to become a doctor. So I was like, no, 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 I cannot go ahead with studying medicine because that I felt that it would be very difficult for me to fit in there. So I chose literature. My education was in English literature, most of it, and psychology. And these two are a major reason that I was able to understand people very well. I was able to understand cultures, accept them, tolerate them very well because I got to know what human psyche is all about, where the human behavior is coming from, how the decisions are made, how the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts are controlling human mind and behavior. So, this is pretty much about me. I moved to Dubai in January 2010. And I understood that this is a place where I can actually materialize all of my dreams. And like everybody else, once I landed in Dubai, my first effort was to find a job. And within 2 weeks of time, I committed to a job.
Brilliant. Nosheen, I want to ask you something, like go one step back here. As a child, okay, the with the environment, what did your parents do, by the way, for a living?
My father ran a shop, so he was into
Okay,
trades.
trades.
But he was very open minded. He strongly believed that children should do what they love to do. And he spent a lot of quality time with us. I learned most of my business aspirations through my experience with my father. First thing, he never brought problems home. So I avoided bringing problems home. I tried solving everything myself. Then, on a second note, he was very good with people. He was a people's person. So my skills, my social skills come from him. He's a great inspiration for me, no doubt. So he was loved by literally everyone he met. He would help people without thinking what they can give him in return. And he made the basis of my nature.
Wow. And he was a businessman. So you also had aspirations as a child that you want to grow up and become a businesswoman one day.
Actually, when I graduated and I completed my first master's, I sat with my father and I told him I want to run my uncle's factory.
What
It
factory,
was a
sorry?
hardware. It was a hardware factory. They used to
Okay.
create iron frames and doorknobs, locks. And he told me this is not a girl's place. You cannot go there. I felt very disappointed when he said that. He said, "No, this is not
Mhm.
a girl's place. You're too young for this." And then everybody working there are a completely different mindset and different class. Like because it was all products that they were manufacturing from iron, it was labor primarily, and then the foremen and things like that. So the factory was actually a factory, a production house where they
Yeah.
manufactured products. And he thought that I should not be there. So he's refused straightly. Instead, he said, okay, do something else. And I was then thinking that I should be making use of my own aspirations as a person. So I sat down with myself and I felt that I'm a great writer because I taught in the university. So I started writing reviews and I started submitting them to newspaper. Then I started writing poems. They were published in different e-journals and e-books, and they were very well appraised by many other poets as well. All of this was done in English, considering that I graduated like my master's in English literature. So that was the basis of my content skills
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
later on used to become a content creator.
Poetry, poetry and literature, and this was like your forte here. I'm gonna digress a little bit here because this I'm just interested. I mean, coming from Pakistan, from Lahore, didn't you write anything in Urdu? Because Urdu is the most poetic language in the world. You didn't write any poetry in Urdu?
The I would have loved to because as a little kid when I was 10, 11, I used to read a lot of stories. Uh, they used to be you pay 1 coin, 1 rupee, and you get a storybook. And I was so passionate. I had piles of storybooks in my room. I loved them. So that made the basis of how stories are created. But the problem was that the education, the entire education, was encouraging us from school to college to speak English, to write in English, to master English. And then, I ended up studying English literature from my 12, 11, 12 till 16. So it was like my entire mindset and the way I was thinking was rooted into that. And I was inspired by all those different authors. I was so good at criticizing Shakespeare's work, and all of that made the basis. So I couldn't write in Urdu, which is surprising because that is my mother tongue. But I wrote everything in English from the beginning. There was online at that time. This is 2002.
Hmm.
So there used to be online forums where they would give feedback to emerging authors. And I joined those forums. And I used to write my pieces and share there. And I used to receive feedback from other authors and then improvise my work and submit again. So that was training. That was very, very highly, I call it highly professional because they did not know me in person at all. For them, I was just a machine writing content and sending in an email to the forum where everybody is reading, and then they are typing their comments and they're giving me feedback of how I can improve it. So that worked very well.
So there, it's like everybody is contributing to the art, right? Everybody is making the art better, and you better as an artist. So improvising on your work and resubmitting.
Yes,
Brilliant.
that's very true. It's like you get thoughts from everybody and you put them together to make your own better. So
Yeah.
it's a growth process. And when I now imagine it, I feel like, oh my goodness, that was so amazing. We were living like continents apart. Some people from the US, some people from the UK. And in those times, in 2002, not 2010, that is 2002 and 2003, when I was still in college and I was completing my studies, I was writing and submitting. And the feedback was coming to me, and I was feeling, oh my goodness, I'm improving myself. Then I was inspired also by my professor. She's no more now, but she understood my love for reading, for creating stories. So she allowed me to express myself. And every time I shared something which was my own opinion and I criticized someone's work, she really appraised that. And that praise encouraged me to think more critically about other people's work. And I became quite a writer in those days. I was very happy. So my first article was accepted by Dawn Books and Authors. I reviewed another poet's work in that. It was a two-page spread in the magazine. It was like, weekend. The weekend magazine in Dubai.
Weekend
It was
magazines. Yeah,
it
yeah,
was the same. It used to come every week, so four
yeah,
times a week, and they published it, and I was dancing all over the house. Then my first article got published. They paid me 2,000 rupees, and I was so happy. It meant a lot at that time to me,
yeah.
and that's how I felt encouraged, and I moved towards where I am today. It's all a journey.
So, so writing was like your forte, and then you moved to Dubai. So, what brought you to Dubai, by the way?
I got married with someone who was working in Dubai,
Okay.
so I came to live here as someone's
Mhm.
wife. That's how my life
And
started. Yes.
okay. So, and then you started looking for a job in Dubai.
Yes, so I've been working for 5 to 6 years in Pakistan before coming to
Hmm.
Dubai as a teacher, because my father allowed me to work as a teacher. He thought this is highly noble and you should go and do your bit. And he believed that I will make a good one. So I accepted that, and finally I was allowed to work, not in the factory, but in a school where I can inspire other children, educate them, help them become better people. This is what he thought, and this is what he told me to do. And I was very happy with that. So for 5, 6 years, I worked in Lahore as a school teacher. I got multiple promotions to my credit during that career, and I was very happy with my work. But definitely, we had to start a family, so I had to move to Dubai. After my marriage, when I came here, within 2 weeks' time, I got a job in a school in Dubai, and I worked there for a year, where I discovered that at the end of that year, they offered me promotion as head of the department of English, and I was reluctant to take it. I asked them a few questions to which I received answers that were not very encouraging. So I felt that if I took this, like all the other head of the departments, I'll spend another 20 years here, and that will be a full stop. So I, I have a very adventurous nature. It was very difficult for me to accept that I will stop here and I will not go anywhere else from here. So I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue. I have some other plans.
So
So
they
when
were
I,
offering you a promotion, and you decided to quit the job. Wow.
because they were actually, what they were doing was they were putting me in a box and closing it and saying, okay, you're head of the department, so these are your responsibility. You're going to stay here and take care of this. Okay, I accept the responsibility, but it doesn't show me that after, let's say, 2 years, where will I be? I'll still be head of the department. 6 years, still be there. 20 years, I'll have gray hair, but I'll still be there. They might promote me vice principal or something of that kind. But that still keeps me there. So I felt this is not career. This is not the kind of career I should have. And then at that time, my husband also encouraged me to make use of my talents. He really believed in me, and he was like, if you're not happy, then you don't have to do it. You have to do something that makes you happy. So I was free to make a choice, and my choice was to leave that and do something different.
And what was that? What did you want to do?
So I stopped teaching from that time on, and I started creating content, something that I've been doing before my professional jump to school teachers work. And this time, this was a very professional work with expectations. It was not a writer's forum.
Okay.
So I was creating website content. I already had a client who was working with me from the US. He had an e-commerce store. He remained my client for 10 years of my life.
Wow. So this is
So I
like you
learned
started a freelancing job. I mean,
freelancing.
not a job,
Yes,
but freelancing.
not a full-time thing. So
Yeah.
with that one client, I spent another 10 years learning WordPress and content writing and managing websites and managing e-commerce stores in Magento. This is skill that he just told me, do this, do this, do this, and I just did whatever he said, and I grew into somebody different from a teacher. But that's not it. I am not somebody you can give one task to and say she will do, and expect she will do and she will do it. No, I was not like that. So what I did was, I got more clients definitely, and I launched a small project called Virtual Outsourcing, and its full name was VOI, and I worked under this label, and I had multiple clients as a freelancer at that time. This is 2010, 2010, 11. So I had quite a number of clients, and they kept on increasing, increasing, increasing. In 2013, I launched my first registered business in Lahore, Pakistan. That was called Writers Galore. It was a company that took care of web design, SEO, content creation. I was not working alone. With me was a team of experts. We all worked together. I had no experience in programming, but I had programmers sitting in our office who used to design and create websites. So we had clients at that time that we could find through obviously digital means. Through
Yeah.
our own digital marketing, and we were working on these things at that time. This is 2012, 13, and then in 2014 we launched Dynasty Technologies. That was in Ajman Free Zone. That company stayed till 2018. Even Writers Galore continued its office till 2018. In 2018, I decided to change a little bit because I felt that web design business was not highly lucrative, and the project pricing was coming very, very down, and our developers were experts and their salaries were very high. So we found it that the market trends are changing. Like, you
Mm.
can have a template in WordPress for a few $100s. So we were like, no, this if we continue with this in future, it's not going to be very great for us. So let's do more. In 2015, way before, that is way before 2018, in 2015 we decided to tap into hospitality, and we launched a marketing platform called YesGulf. YesGulf was working on multiple tiers. So we built a web application. Obviously, we were a web design company. So we built a web application that was offering a platform to business owners for business networking. This is one objective. At the same time, it was going to promote hospitality businesses. In specific, that was our corporate side of it, retail and corporate side of it. On the third level, it was going to offer support as a platform to coaches and teams so that they could find more clients. So we were having a social platform, we were having a hospitality based marketing platform, and at the same time, we were marketing the coaches and trainers. That was the training program. So these three were working in ESCUF. It stayed there till 2020. We had some virtual activity during 2020, then we stopped.
Okay.
Yes.
So Nousheén, I want to go again, like one step back here, a couple of steps back here, actually, with the Writers Galore. When you did this, I want to understand this, from a couple of different aspects here. First of all, did you move back to Lahore to run this business over there, or were you running it from here?
I was running it from Dubai. I used to visit Lahore office. We
Okay.
had operations manager. We had the administration there. It was a fully structured business, and we had a team of professionals that comprised of web developers, programmers, designers, SEO experts, and content writers. And
Wow.
the company had its hierarchy. Uh, we were quite well known. It was going well for quite some time. But like I said, that I'm of a very adventurous nature.
Yeah.
And then the trends, I love riding the trends. What I felt was that the web design business was losing its spark because of the fact that the templates automatically, you throw your content in templates and things are done, right? You do not need all the time full scale project with developer, designer, and so many quality assurance people working on it until and unless the projects are very huge. So keeping in view that it was not going to give us enough of revenue, we decided to
Mhm.
change. And then the new thing was very, very exciting. So I went forward with it.
With events and all. But like you set up an entire company there, like in Lahore, with the proper organization structure and a lot of people there, right? Now, and this was your first business venture as such. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about the funding part here. Like, so did how did you manage to, how did you manage the funds? Because there is a lot of investment required, to start a business, and you were just doing freelancing here. So was that challenging?
Yes, in some ways. So I never attracted any funding for any of my projects. They were all passion projects. When I launched the first one, it was from the money I saved.
So while you were working as a teacher and later as a freelancer,
No,
you
when I
managed
was
to
working
save.
as a teacher, I had no savings, to be very honest. I had no
Okay, yeah,
savings. Teachers' salaries are very humble. And
yeah,
honestly, I strongly believe that the world needs to consider this once again. And they really have to pay the highest salaries to the teachers because it's the teachers who are building the nations. Honestly, they are grooming the children, they are teaching them, they are making them better individuals. There are hundreds of things that they are doing that other people are not, and they are the
absolutely.
people who are underpaid. So it was not from the teacher's salary, it was from freelancing work. So I earned, paid the bills, saved the money. And that's how I started registering one after another. From each business, we made money. I lived very humbly always. I preferred doing that because that uh, brought me less things to take care of, an easier
Yeah.
life. So my entire focus throughout my career has been on that the businesses should make good enough money. Some of that money should be invested in the business that is running so that it continues to grow, and the savings should go for another one so that we can have more coming up. And every time we have something more coming up, it doesn't only excite me and satisfies me, it answers needs of people.
Mm.
And I really feel very comfortable with that. It gives more meaning to my existence. I feel that yes, I'm doing my part as a human being, serving some segments of society in my own way, while I'm on a very selfish level making some money for my living.
And that's your responsibility, and I wouldn't call it selfish alone, because it's your making money as a business. And let me say that on record here, that making money as a business is the
Is ethical.
responsibility of,
Yes.
yeah, it's a responsibility to oneself, to our family, and to our stakeholders, to our employees, right? We have to make money
Yeah.
so that we can survive, the business can survive. And, this is one of the reasons why Be Your Own Boss podcast exists, that small businesses, entrepreneurs are the ones who bring in new energy and new solutions to the world. So it is important for businesses to, it is important for people to start businesses. And this is what you're doing. This is what I'm encouraging people to do as well, to start businesses. But this is how the economy can grow. This is how the world can grow. And we have more entrepreneurs coming in. But yeah, so let's carry on with your story. So,
Yes, so in 2020, when I was wondering what to do now, because we always pre-plan an year's entire activity for the business. So we had already a plan in place for YesCow, and even the bookings were done for all the training programs and all the networking events that were to happen. The calendar was being shared, the hotels, the restaurants, everything was booked, and we were getting the calls that we have to cancel it because this is not happening, things are not going the way they are expected. And the hotels were informing us that we will not be able to host events. That was end of February, so we decided that we will freeze everything for now. And like everybody else was thinking at that time what to do next, I was also sitting and thinking what to do next. So first solution was to go online and have your digital events. When I hosted digital events, the impact was not the same. The quality of networking was not the same. The engagement was not the same. Although the number of people was still the same. On a very standard level, YesCalf networking events and event training sessions had between 35 to 65 people. We had the 65 people in online, but the impact was not the same. The depth of networking was not the same, and I did not feel satisfied with it. Then I started thinking that probably this is time to do something different. For me to use the same person as I am with all the talent that is inside me, I have to do something different because definitely we have to stay in business and we have to provide for ourselves and we have to carry on. And the purpose of my life should continue to serve others. So I drafted a plan for a PR agency, but this time I gave it my own name. When I registered the company as soon as the lockdowns were finished and people were outside, I knew that this was the time when everybody has to go and start working again. So in June, I launched Nousheen Marketing Management, which is by logo Nousheen Mukhtar International. So this is a PR and marketing agency. It does the kind of marketing which is not the traditional marketing.
mm,
No, it's very personalized. We pick and choose our clients. We serve them on a very boutique level. We take care, we understand first who they really are, where they're headed, what is the purpose of their business, why they're doing what they're doing. We sit with them and we help them understand that these are your goals. And if you are this person, this is the strategy that you need to work on. And as a strategist, all of my knowledge that has come through first-hand experience that I've had with other brands when we were working on corporate branding during the existence of Dynasty, when we were working with Yes Golf and we were taking care of the coaches to help them have better visibility, have more speaking gigs, have more public relations. When we were working with the hospitality sector, we were trying to understand how hospitality is surviving through the challenges because there are challenges. The
yeah.
investments are huge and the conversion could be very challenging for them at times. And all of this I made use of when I launched Nousheen Mukhtar International. And that's where we started working with the business owners on a different level. So that was very interesting. We created a lot of content for our clients, not just written content, more of a visual content, more podcasts, more talk shows, more radio shows, more press releases, more profiling in the magazines, more interviews, more photographs, more art. It was fabulous. The entire shift from what we were doing in YesGulf to what we started doing in later half of 2020. It was amazing and I really enjoyed it. So we were able to achieve the goals of generating leads, of building reputation, of enhancing popularity, of creating better media visibility for our clients. And we are continuing to do that. It's fun. This is the best part. This is the part from which I do not want to digress. it gives it doesn't just allow me to help my clients achieve their goals. It actually allows me to achieve my own personal goals. I feel that people who have joined us, let's say at X point in time, when they move towards Y and Z, they're entirely transformed,
Yeah.
and they're not even aware of what has been going on. Like the process is going so smoothly, they are able to enjoy the journey themselves. They are able to have better clarity of what they wish to achieve. They have better ways of doing things, and they enjoy the entire process. We build a very high quality relationship with them. So I believe that I'm more satisfied here than I was in any of the other projects.
And Nosheen, you're doing a lot of work in the field of women empowerment. And this is, I mean, women in leadership, women in entrepreneurship, and this is something that I'm also personally very a big proponent of. Um, you have I've seen you've hosted some events where you're recognizing women entrepreneurship and things like that. Just talk us through that. Is that under Nousheen Mukhtar International, or is it a separate activity?
Yes, it started under that. But it started long before this. It started when I was a child.
Started when you
So, yes, so I was usually in Pakistan. Girls are not supposed to go out to parks with their brothers and play cricket. I did that.
ah, wow.
So, not that I'm tomboy. I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I'm very feminine. But um, I always hated stereotypes. I really feel that they confine us and they make people see us in a light that we might not feel comfortable at all. And this is not just for one woman. I have seen so many different women around me when I lived in Lahore, and majority of them suffer because they do not have financial independence. Many of them have education, but they've never been taught how to use their education. And this is very common. It still happens. Even now in 2023, the story is still the same in Lahore or in many areas of Pakistan and many areas of India. There are women who are very empowered. There are women who are highly educated, are highly aware of their rights, are able to fight for their rights. But at the same time, in those regions and in many other regions of the world, there are women who are educated, who have been provided with the facilities of life, but they do not have the privilege of enjoying the awareness, or they have not been provided with all of their rights, or they have not been equipped with the skills to make use of their education, or they have not been provided with the chances to make use of their talents and grow into complete individuals who are enjoying their lives and have no regrets. There are many women who are suffering from abuse because they are not financially independent, because they are controlled by their circumstances. When we encourage them, like, in talks, people say that you should not be victimized by your circumstances. You should refuse to be controlled by others. It is easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Women who are in underprivileged countries, or who are in developing countries, or who are in underdeveloped countries, or who are in different cultures, they are never given the choice. They really, nobody wants them to even say that, let alone think about it, let alone step ahead and do it. So in 2018, I had quite some time of reflection,
Hmm.
and Style Femina, which is my woman empowerment project, I laid the foundation of it at that time. And again, this was a project for which I spent nothing, no investment. There were website developers in my office, there were content writers in my office. I sat with them and I said, "This is how I feel. Can we launch just one website? And we call it Style Family, which literally means style of a woman. Simple, blunt, nothing. And we don't do anything with it. We just write some good content. We try to find women who are willing to share ideas and we add it there. We do only this for now. And then once we are done, let me rest a little bit. Let me take a break from it and think about it. Because I do not like expressing all of my emotions quickly. This might
Okay.
shock people, especially your team. They will say, "What has happened to her?" So we built it at that time. And
Mm.
then we started looking for women who are creating impact. And we started writing to them if you're interested in contributing some, sharing some parts of your story with us. And that's how it started. This is the beginning. But as I moved along, I felt that having a website does not do the job. And that's very true. It doesn't do the job. Having a website doesn't do job for a business also, let alone for a cause.
Yeah.
So something more has to be there, right? In 2019, when we had Burak Media, we were trying to make media connections, a lot of media connections. So I was talking to a lot of TV people, a lot of radio people, a lot of magazines, a lot of newspapers, and unfortunately, they were not very willing to work with us. It was very difficult to get their attention, and we were working on it. And then 2020 happened. So
Mm.
this was the reason I was not able to grow Burak Media very big, but I was able to grow other brands. So Style Femina became a media brand a little later than that. But from the beginning, it was my woman empowerment project. It was the route where I go back and I review what
Yeah.
I want to achieve. So the purpose is to empower women, not just by saying that, oh, we have a lot of energy, oh, we are empowered, oh, we realize this. No. The purpose is to provide them opportunities where they can say what the problem is. They can say why they are not able to solve the problem. They can say what help they need in order to solve the problem. It could be any problem. It could be financial problems. It could be emotional issues. It could be their issues with themselves, with their inner core. It could be a problem with a family. It could be a problem with a culture. It could be a problem with the opportunities. There could be many things. There could be many hurdles in their ways. So the purpose is that the inspiring women, the empowered women, women who have resources, women who have knowledge, women who have privileges, women who have power, women who can make decisions, women who can control situations, come forward. They share not just their story, they come to our events in person. They meet with other women who would like to find solutions. They guide them how to find solutions. So there are talks in our events. If someone, for example, is not finding enough business, all of us help them, all of us women who are a part of Style Femina, who are coming in Women Leadership Global Awards, women who are coming to Women Entrepreneurs Roundtable, women who are coming to Women's Health Conference. They all help. And literally they do. There is no doubt about this. If I am not able to do, there are hundreds of others like myself who will do.
Yeah.
And I will not have to remind anyone. This was the purpose to create a network, a support network for everyone, where there is no discrimination, where there are no privileges, where there is a common purpose and everybody is there. They understand it, they respect it, and they follow. They themselves decide the code and they follow it. If somebody does not like it, we do not force them to stay. If
Mm.
somebody likes it, they have to continue the journey with us. And we feel much honored and happy to have them. That is all I do. So all my conferences, we do 6 events for women under Style Femina. So every time we launch an issue, we uh, encourage all the people who've been featured in the past, all the people who've been featured now in the current issue, and all those women who would love to network to come join us. And we all sit together. We have good time. We have learning time. We have motivating time, and we have fun time. Everything is there, and it's very free. Like, we do not force people to act in a certain way. There is no pump and show. There is no pretense. Everything is
Okay.
normal, like your day to day life, and it goes on. And apart from this, we have done the bigger program. We host. I say we. It means the companies.
Yeah.
So we have now put Style Femina under Impact Media, and we are also at the moment working on the branding of Impactpreneur. Since Style Femina is only for women,
Yeah.
that shows a very feminine side and a very feminist side of my personality. We do not want to exclude other business owners from the community. So we decided this year, in the beginning of this, like in December, that we are going to have something similar for other business owners as well, where they do not just get profiled, but they also become a part of the entire business network. And the community works in a very structured way. And the economic ecosystem continues to gain momentum and grow. Now, when I say grow, what do I mean? Let me explain it a little bit, because that
Yeah.
connects to the other two things that we do under impact events. So, grow means that there is more money rolling in for everybody who is a part of the network. There is more motivation rolling in. There is more knowledge, because we strongly believe knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Motivation is strength, and money charges everything. If there is no money, the businesses will shut down, isn't it? So, to make this possible, like I said, the most inspiring people who have achieved success, need to connect with the people who are yet on their way. So we have Global Women Leadership Awards happening in every June, every year, which is for women. But there are men also in the room, okay?
Yeah.
Uh, so women from all parts of the world, they come and they join. And they do not undermine the cause. They support it, they love it, and they work for it. And they're open to offer opportunities to everyone. That is a great part. And I must say, we are not funded.
So this is
There are
all
no sponsors.
self-funded. There are no
Yes,
sponsors. So
this
how
is
do you manage
completely
the expenses?
self-funded.
That's one of the things.
There,
Yeah.
yes. So there are no sponsors.
Okay. Wow, that's very inspiring. So how do you manage that on a practical basis? Like there are expenses involved in
Oh,
doing
big
content.
expenses.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we have to monetize activities in a way that the funds are automatically generated without asking for. We tried asking for sponsorships. Unfortunately, we did not succeed.
Hmm.
And I do not understand till now what is wrong there. There is some secret recipe for it which I do not have it, for which maybe our audience can help. Then from this cause, we move towards not just having it for women, but having it for other thought leaders as well. Because I got this from a lot of our members in the business community, from our clients also. Why only for women? Why
Mhm.
not for everyone? So we decided from 2023, we will have Inspire Leadership Awards in the beginning of the year, every January, where business leaders from all over the world, regardless of the gender, can be nominated, endorsed, recognized, and can also leverage upon knowledge and opportunities in the ecosystem. And it was very welcome this year. We are very excited to host it next year as well, and then carry forward the tradition. So when coming back to the growth part, so when it comes to growth, it's not just that we want only the women to grow. We want everybody to grow. We want balance. And to strike the balance, we are doing these multiple activities. We generate money from our industry specific events as well. And sometimes we use that money for these projects, for Style Femina, for Global Women Leadership Awards, for multiple causes, for training sessions. We distribute that. And then we go on with our activities more and more. What I want now is to have more companies willing to become a part of what I'm doing, so that my vision continues to grow instead of feeling hindered from lack of resources. I don't want lack of resources to be a blockage. That is the thing.
No, I think you're on the right track, and you have a very practical approach to things here. Yes, you're doing, it is very inspiring what you're doing. You're helping women entrepreneurs, aspiring women entrepreneurs, and also men entrepreneurs now with the new venture. And I believe that things will fall in place eventually, as because you have a very a very practical approach, and like you said, critical thinking. This is a skill that you developed, with literature, and that kind of comes here as well. And you're thinking in both sides, and thinking all around. Noushin, looking at the kind of exposure that you've had, the experiences that you've had as a teacher, as an employee, as a freelancer, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, what would be your advice to, and I specifically want to ask only for women here, women entrepreneurs, aspiring women entrepreneurs who would like to get started as an in the business, in the world of business. What's your advice for them?
I'd advise them not to let anything stop you. Do not let circumstances, do not let absence of resources, do not let people, do not let anything stop you. If you want to do something, you can do it. You can do it without money. You can do it without people. It should be determination which is with you. It should be your passion which is with you. It should be your willingness to do it first. It should be your own way of doing it. Because when you start following your heart, when you start doing it with all of your being intact with you, the universe helps you to achieve your goals. People bring solutions for you automatically. Resources start building themselves up. You don't have to hunt and look for them. They come for you because you are determined, you're focused, you want to do it, and you do not pay attention to all the hurdles that are there. You keep solving your things and you will find your way.
So keep your mind on what you want, and off on keep your mind off what you don't want, and keep focusing on that. Noshin, when you look back now, okay, at the little girl who went out to play cricket with the boys, to prove a point there, to the businesswoman that you've become, the leader that you've become. Looking at this journey, what's that one decision that you took, you think is like the most important decision of your life that changed things around for you? What's that one big decision in your life?
I refused to put myself in a box and closet. I said no. I'm a person with no boundaries. I don't accept any boundaries. I'm going to go ahead and do what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and achieve what I want to achieve, no matter what happens. What I want to do is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it because I know I'm right, because I know I have the courage to do it, because I know I have the determination and I have what it takes.
Brilliant, brilliant, Nosheen. So, for the people in the list, among the audience, the people who are listening to this, watching this, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs who would like to connect with you, small businesses who would like to connect with you
Mhm.
for business, so that they can benefit from the services that you offer at
Sure.
Nousheen Mukhtar International. What's the best way that people can reach out to you?
Uh, Finding me is very simple. You just have to type my name in Google. You get the office address, the phone number, the social media, everything.
Yeah,
So I'm the easiest person to find. You can connect with me on our Instagram or LinkedIn. You can find on our website, book your appointment. It's easy, very simple. Everybody is on LinkedIn and everybody is on Instagram. And I
yeah,
respond
that's
to our Instagram and LinkedIn. So that wouldn't be a problem.
brilliant. And like I said in the beginning, Nousheen Mukhtar is a brand. So Google it and you'll find. So, Nosheen, how was your experience being on the show on Be Your Own Boss podcast?
Oh, it's lovely. It's very nice. And I feel that it is for people who like to be themselves and to be on their own. And I really enjoyed my conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Nosheen, thank you so much for taking our time and sharing your journey and your story with us. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here on your podcast.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was Nousheen Mukhtar, the founder of Nousheen Mukhtar International and several other businesses. And you've been watching and listening to Be Your Own Boss.